Hey there! So welcome to video 2. So hopefully by now you've actually done the homework for video 1. And if you just need a quick recap about what we learned in video 1, it's to identify 3 areas of your life that feel like they're keeping you stuck, heavy, and it feels old to you. So we are going to identify those areas and we are going to rip those up, right? Okay, so in video 2, right now, we're going to talk about manifesting with your higher self and why that is really important and how we can actually do that. So we are going to, at the very end of this training, make a pledge to ourselves. At least I hope that you want to make that pledge to yourself, and we'll talk about why that's important too. So as always, just allow yourself to be in this moment right now and tell everybody to leave you alone. This is for you so that you can really center in on knowing what the next steps are. All right. So when we align to our highest version of ourselves, guess what? It's easier to manifest. So while you can manifest something having the knowledge of it, you have to actually apply it. But when we are living in full vibration, we start to notice synchronicities. So for me, as I continually really work on my vibration and allow myself to grow higher, I start to notice that perhaps some of the authors that I'm reading, like the name of the authors, it's like everywhere I go, I hear their name. And it's a validation and a synchronicity that, yes, indeed, Whitney, whatever you're doing is working for you. So instead of going, why do I always keep getting X, Y, Z? Well, one, your spirit guides can be putting that information in front of you, but it's a validation of, yes, I'm doing the work. You'll notice as you're really working in your vibration that the old triggers that come up for you will dissipate. So for an example, if you are working on money blocks and releasing those, or if you are just saying, you know what, I'm going to release fear, whatever it is. So recently our freezer, we thought it was broken. And my old self would have said, oh no, like, what are we going to do? We're going to lose all this food. And I'm going to have to like bring somebody to come into the house. And how long is that going to take? And all this stuff. And instead, my reaction was, cool, we'll get a new refrigerator with a freezer. And we've been talking about buying a freezer anyway. So that shift, you'll see your differences as you're shifting into your vibration. So we've already covered video 1, and if you have not watched video 1, you can go back into the training. But right now, we are on video 2, Manifesting in the Higher Self, and I'm going to be doing some live Q&A tomorrow. So that is July 17th. It's a Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And so I definitely hope to see you there. We'll have the recording right on the training page as well. And then I've already told you, but I'll tell you again, applications open for Aligned on July 20th. I'll tell you more about that later. So we've released blocks. We've learned complaining is not a strategy in our video 1, and we've learned the 4 energies to balance. So that's our physical body, it's our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body. So we've talked about how sometimes we might have to eat something that keeps us lighter in our vibration as we're shifting all of those energies. So we talked about too, we've got like less than 6 months in 2020. And what do you want to achieve right now? Like, what is it? We have this beautiful rest of the year, and we want to make sure that we're utilizing it and that we are still moving toward our goals. We're not going to let a pandemic, we're not going to let anything else hold us back from really shifting our vibration. This is actually a really good test year because you get tested. There's so many things that pop up in this year, and you get to say, whew, did I raise my vibration, or am I acting out of old patterns? So let's talk about what your goals are. We talked about the 3 things that you want to remove, but what are your goals in 2020? We'll talk about that from the higher self perspective too. But what do you want to do? So take a moment, pause me, and write down what are your 3 goals. And so we can get real specific. I am starting my own successful business. I am changing my career. Or maybe it is I want to have more clarity with my intuition. I want to manifest faster than I've ever manifested before. Because believe me, I've seen beautiful things happen that way. Or maybe it's I am receiving abundance in my life. but what are your goals for you personally and spiritually that maybe you've been putting on the back burner, that maybe you stated in January, but you said, you know what? Stuff happened, life happened. What are you ready to really commit to? So put that down so we know. Now, I want to ask you a bigger question. I'd like for you to take a piece of paper and write this down. I'm not kidding, so pause me if you need to. But I want you to write down on a piece of paper, why do you want these goals? This is important because as we're moving through the rest of the year, we forget our why and then we don't stick to them. The more that we put the why, it's like this carrot that continues to be in front of us. And we're like, yes, I'm tired today, but I'm going to do this. This is why I'm doing it. So maybe you want to start your own successful business because you want to help so many people and really state why you want to help the people. So maybe it is to help show them, like me, that they can live the life of their dreams and their life purpose. So perhaps it's something else. Why? Maybe you want to have this beautiful, spacious home so that your family can feel free and there's less tension and you're so happy just living inside of it. Perhaps you are really ready to increase your abundance so that you can travel to maybe see family on the other side of the world when it's safer to travel. Whatever it is, you put your why and you stick it on the wall or behind your computer or wherever you're going to see it so that you are aligning to that goal every time. So take a few moments if you need it and pause me and then unpause me when you're ready. All right, so let's talk about when does a higher self actually come in? Well, the higher self helps us stay aligned to those goals. But if we are making goals out of the ego, our higher self is going to step in and say, you're not going to manifest that goal, Whitney, because that's all ego talk. We are going to make sure that we're aligned to what it is. So let's talk about an example. If you are saying, I'm going to win the lottery, that is my goal. That is what it is. And I'm going to win it because I just want to be rich and swim in the money. Well, your higher self is going to say, no, that's not really the lesson that you need to be learning right now. So let's change it. And trust me, if you're trying to make these goals from the ego, you are going to be served a lesson that is not as pleasant. So we want to make sure that we're always making goals with the alignment of our higher self. And one of the reasons that our higher self does come in is we need that extra guidance so that the higher self sees all different perspectives. The higher self sees our past lives. It sees the lessons we're here to learn. And so when I say the higher self, it's connected to you. It is you. You are already connected to your higher self. We just need to be more in alignment with it because you cannot operate from your current vibrational state and expect a higher vibrational outcome. That means we need to be making decisions from the higher perspective. So if our higher self is able to see all the different perspectives, we can tune into the higher self at all times. And the future version of ourselves seems far away, but it's not. We have access to it right now all the time. And so your higher self can give you guidance based on the higher vibration. So we're going to do a little exercise together. So let's find out what the higher self has to say. Are you ready? I'm ready. So let's take a moment. I'd love for you to clear your mind. You can ground, put your feet on the floor, get comfortable in your chair, take a deep breath in and release out. Just feel yourself becoming lighter. Allow yourself to just be. And then call upon the energy of your higher self. Allow your higher self to come through. And you can just visualize perhaps this higher self as a beautiful purple, gold, or silver energy. And you're just calling on that energy. And I love for you to visualize the higher self way above the top of the head. And as you're just breathing, visualize this beautiful white column of light coming all the way down, encompassing your entire body. And as you breathe, feel yourself moving higher. Allow yourself to be guided upwards, upwards, upwards. And allow yourself to merge into this beautiful purple, silver, gold energy. And your intention is to connect to the higher self. From the higher self perspective, ask your higher self, please show me through a vision, tell me through words, tell me through a knowing or a feeling. What are the next actions, the next steps to reach the highest goals? Ask the higher self to show you who you are in 5 years. Ask the higher self to show you what goals are so in alignment with you right now and what can be accomplished. Perhaps you visualize yourself on stage. Perhaps you are writing a book. Perhaps you have a thriving business. Who are you helping? Who are you serving? How are you serving? If your goal is to manifest a beautiful house, and you can visualize, or perhaps you hear, you feel, or you know what it is that you're living inside of. And you ask your higher self, what are the goals that are truly for my highest and best to align with? And you see your higher self, you are your higher self, and you've got a picture of who you are in 5 years. Maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 1 year. And you just ask that person, how did I get there? How did you get there? See what they say. What steps do I need to take right now in order to shift and change my vibration? If I want this goal, how can I act out of the higher vibrational state? Take a deep breath in, knowing your answers are there. Breathe out and feel yourself move down, 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 back into your chair, down where you are. Knowing that you're always connected to your higher self. Intention to continue that connection with your higher self. Feeling your feet flat on the floor. Opening your eyes. And feel free to pause me. If you need to do that exercise again, you can rewind, but write down all the things that came up. All right. If you need to tap in at any other time, you can do it always over again. But let's talk about what's really going on here. So you got your answers with your higher self, right? And so with the answers that you received with your higher self, you start to understand, oh, okay, this is what is really happening. And these are the steps that I need to take, because I know that if I'm living and making the actions off of my current vibration or old vibration, I'm never going to get there. This is why people get stuck in the same cycle. And we'll talk about cycles in video 3. But we're talking about, why do I keep repeating the same patterns over and over? We need to access the highest self so that we can move forward in those patterns. And so, again, we've talked about this in video 1, but this is this beautiful spark of divinity right here. This is your physical body. This is your etheric body. And then this is where the emotional, mental, and spiritual body comes in. If all these bodies are aligned and vibrating in a really high state, the frequency that it emits is huge in a good way. It's intense. And so therefore is bringing through more opportunities through law of attraction. You can look at yourself as a magnet, and the more that you are vibrating in this higher version of yourself, guess what? You get to attract opportunities that are that high vibrational parts of yourself. So if you have people that start connecting with you and you're like, wow, I saw them as mentors, that's awesome, but now I'm seeing them on a pure level. Well, guess what? It's because you've shifted your vibration. You have over here these chakras. And so it's always very good to work on these chakras as you are wanting to vibrate even higher. Now, the higher self access is from the crown up. And that right there is integral, because the more that you connect to your higher self, the more all these other areas of yourself have higher energy that come in. But let me just tell you, in order to manifest, you do need to make sure that all these chakras are healthy. Because if you're only talking to the higher self and you are up here in these upper areas, then your root chakra and all these lower chakras, they might not get the attention that they need. You don't want anything to become out of balance. So you always want balance. And the more that these lower chakras are indeed healthy, guess what? You get to ground what the higher self is saying and actually live that in this lifetime. We need those lower chakras so that we are utilizing the skill sets we get from our higher self into our job or into our relationships or into a group environment. It helps us actually manifest those things into reality. So we always want to ask, when we are talking to our higher self or we are manifest something, we always want to ask for the highest and the best outcome. Because if we are manifesting, we want to make sure that we're doing from a place that the higher self sees, not from the place where our ego, human self thinks. That's a key. That is super key. Because the higher self knows the outcome, and our spirit guides help us with the how. We just need to follow and take the steps. What happens and holds people back is when they say, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is going to happen. I'm really freaked out and I don't know what my next step is. Well, you can get your intuitive messages really clearly. And if you've worked on your manifesting, one of the keys of manifestation is belief, emotion. So we have the goal, which is the belief. Yes, I'm an author. Absolutely, I'm an author. Then we have the emotion. I'm so excited. I was writing that book. My book is complete and it's finished. And then if we try to say, and it's published through this specific publisher and this way, and this is what comes in, we start squinching off the manifestation that can come through. So for the highest and best, whatever it is. So here's your homework. I've got 2 things for you. We're going to do a pledge after I tell you your homework as well. Tap into your higher self. You can rewind this exercise. And I want you to put down, what are your emotions and feelings? So as you are seeing yourself in, for instance, your goal, like you're writing your book or you're living in this beautiful place with more space. Those are just some examples. Whatever it is, what are the emotions and the feelings that you get from the higher self? One of the reasons I want you to do this is because of the manifestation that I just talked about. But also, when you're feeling the emotions and the feelings, you start to differentiate what's coming in from my higher self and what's coming in from fear. And we want to make sure that we are in a high vibratory space so that we are acting within that higher self. Now, number 3 is I want you to set your intentions into your energy. Once you have your goals, once you understand what next steps to take, and hey, it's okay if you don't understand yet. I told you that you're not always going to know the how, but whatever it is, maybe you just start writing the book. If you are saying, I want to be an author, I just got to start writing. So sit down in front of your computer, even if you don't know what you're writing about, and just start writing what comes to your mind, for instance. But you want to set your intentions into your energy. So take a moment. Feel into your energy as you know in your vibratory space, and you set your intentions. I am an author. Okay, this is what we're doing. My intention by the end of 2020 is to get half of my book completed. So just set your intention. So what we did in video 1 was remove and set our intentions of letting go. And now what are you bringing into that space? The universe loves a void. The universe likes to fill whatever you've let go of. And so you better make sure that you're filling it with lots of things that you're excited for. So what I'd love for you to do too is write down on a piece of paper, or also put in your energy and just saying it out loud of all the intentions, because you've removed the old. What are your intentions for the new? So let me just recap before we get to our pledge. Tap into your higher self, do the exercise as many times as you'd like. What are your emotions and feelings that come up from your higher self? And set your intentions into your energy. Now, next video, we're going to talk about the cycles and why people get stuck. But do you want to take the pledge? I'm taking the pledge. And here's your commitment to yourself. I will no longer participate in activities, thoughts, or actions that support my old vibration. I step into the new aligned version of myself with ease and grace. I have created this freebie so you can print it out and put it on your wall, and it's pretty. So you can go to messengerspirit.com/pledge to put this on your wall, and you can say this to yourself every day, right? Because how many times do people at the beginning of the year say that they're going to lose 20 pounds and then in 6 weeks end up shoving their face with chocolate cake? It's like they've sabotaged that area for themselves, and they can do that for many different reasons and triggers. We're not going to get into all that at the moment, but what I will say is making that pledge, because a lot of times we think it's easier to go back into the old vibrational ways because it's what we know, what we've known. We've kind of gotten comfortable with this uncomfortable feeling. And so while it's uncomfortable because we know we're ready for a change, it's kind of like home in a way. And so we want to continue to really break through those limits in this new vibratory feeling. So yes, it is uncomfortable because we haven't known it yet, but continuing that pace. So again, I will no longer support or I will no longer participate in activities, thoughts, or actions that support my old vibration. I step into the new aligned version of myself with ease and grace. Yes? You willing to do that? I hope so. Tell me, go onto my Facebook page after you've taken the pledge and let me know that you've done it. Just keeping you accountable. All right. Well, I will see you inside of video number 3 on Monday, but I hope to see you tomorrow on the Facebook page. And on that Facebook page, we're going to be going live answering any questions that you have. All right. Have fun with your homework.